sir. Is this boat for hire?
It is your lucky day.
Harkins, what are you doing in there? This family stays together.
Congratulations on this, first of all. He gets to use his passport for the first time.
Isn't that sweet?
It's adorable. Are you happy with your passport photos?
Oh, no.
Okay.
My last passport was great, but then you're not allowed to use the same photo.
And you're not supposed to smile in it either.
No.
Really?
Which kind of defeats the purpose
Is
of the
yours
whole...
really smiley?
I didn't know.
What, did yours look like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, how lovely.
Do you remember the first time you used it? First big trip you took?
Oh yeah, I went to Portugal, which was kind of,
Kind of right next door?
Yeah, exactly. But the second trip, it was to America. My second trip, it was to America, and I was already 23 years old. I went to New York, and I remember seeing Bernadette Peters doing a show called Song and Dance, and another one, I think it was the last one that Bob Fosse did, called The Big Deal. It was called The Big Deal, Bob Fosse. Yeah.
Wow. That's a great
New York.
trip.
Yeah,
That was
that's
a great
very
trip.
good trip.
Yeah.
How about you?
I
First
was-
big trip?
Well, my first trip with a passport, I think I was on my mum's passport.
You were very young.
Yeah, and it was to France.
you
So for us, it's not...
Right.
It was a big trip for me, but it's not that far, in American terms.
My
as well.
Portugal was your friend.
Get ready, everyone! He's coming!
One of the best scenes is obviously the song that you prepare for the visit from Paddington.
Let's prepare for Paddington, Paddington in Peru.
First of all, total nod to The Sound of Music, which I loved.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, there's an obvious bit she spins at the
Yes.
end, and that is, yeah, that's the hills are alive.
What are the odds Paddington in Peru could become a big hit?
I don't think it's going to be a big hit.
I thought it was wonderful. It's
You're
catchy.
gonna be surprised.
Okay, I would be really surprised.
Paddington, we're here!
What's the best welcome each of you has ever gotten? Because she goes all out, performs the whole tune with the rest of the nuns.
What, like you go into a room and
No,
someone's
like
done
you go to
something?
visit somebody and they go all out and they welcome you to...
I gotta tell you something. If there is something that I hate in my life, is surprises. Even if there are good
Really?
surprises, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cancel the surprise.
There are surprising parties, for example. You're traveling, right? And you're tired, and you're dreaming to just get home, get in the shower, get in your jammies, and just get hypnotized with the television, for example, right?
Right.
And then you open the door and you say, welcome! And you say, no, get everybody out of here. You know, I don't remember. You know, in film festivals, they prepare always beautiful welcomes with, you know, the press and the whole glamour thing in Cannes, or in Venice, some of those, I guess, you know. In the early days, when I traveled for the first time to a festival, you think that you are nobody, and suddenly you are received there like a star, and suddenly you are feeling like, oh yeah, I am that.
See, I really don't enjoy that. I find that cripplingly. I have to really get myself ready to go. I'm at work. I find it difficult.
So you find it's like an act for you. You have to
Totally,
act.
I have to be someone else to do it.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm
yeah.
at my happiest in my shed at the end of my garden.
We have to try.
And I have faith that you will survive.
Part of this is about embrace the risk, and I love that whole concept. What's the riskiest thing that you all have done recently where you were a little bit out of your comfort zone?
Oh my God! I bought a theater.
Oh yeah, this is a...
And do you know what happened? I bought a theater, and 3 months after I bought a theater, COVID.
Oh,
I mean, what is the worst that can happen? You buy a theater, it's a world pandemic. So you cannot just take people to go there. But I created a production television company, and I started doing television in my theater.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And
Is
I
it as
did-
nice as a Harkins theater?
It was great, actually.
Shameless plug.
Okay, you wanted it?
Is the popcorn is good? No, I'm just teasing.
No,
That's a big
but,
deal, though. That's risky
yeah.
and worth it
That
in
was
the
risky.
end.
But I am the happiest man now with the theater.
You're not getting your pilot's license anytime soon, are you?
Oh no.
Okay, good.
No, don't worry.
You're not the best at it in this film.
No, I thought she was pretty good. I'm not a massive risk taker, I don't think. My husband and I started a production company. I thought that was pretty scary. And, but he does most of the work.
Dear Aunt Lucy, I have very important news. We're coming to visit.
Congratulations on this, by the way.
Thank you.
Out of curiosity, have either one of you actually been to Peru?
No, the nearest I've got to Peruvian soil is a drinks party at the Peruvian embassy the other night, which was very lovely, and all the Peruvian ambassador staff were very excited that their name is now on buses all over the place, and they're expecting the tourism industry to go through the roof.
Did you have a pisco sour? Was it the pisco,
Yes,
the Peruvian drink?
the ambassador recommended that we only have one. Paddington had 3.
Please note that headwear is not permitted.
Your passport, your photo, are you happy with it? Because in this one, Paddington's got some unique passport photos.
My passport photo is due for renewal, so actually I'm quite into my passport photo because it was taken kind of maybe, I guess it's 10 years ago, isn't it? It's 10 years, yeah. So I sort of like my passport photo. I don't want to have to give it up and replace it with the present image. But anyway, I'm sure in 10 years' time, I'll like the one I do now. Paddington, there's a letter from Peru.
I know that you've talked about being a little nervous to take over for Sally. Was there anything in her performance, and you did an amazing job, by the way.
Thank you.
But was there anything specific from her performance that you wanted to bring to yours, or was it just, I'm doing me. I'm doing what
I felt that if I tried to match her performance in some way or emulate it or be a version of her character, then I just would fail because there's nothing more perfect than her performance in the first 2 movies. Sally was just the perfect Mrs. Brown, and so I just almost I just felt like I had to be me. That was my only option, just to be my version. And I comforted myself by thinking, you know, this character has been going strong since the 1950s when Michael Bond first wrote the stories, and surely there will be many more incarnations of the Browns and Mrs. Brown to come. So I just had to feel like I was sort of, the baton was being passed to me and I would pass it to someone else in due course and try not to be too scared at the prospect. So that, I mean, the thing that I really took from both those first films is Mary Brown's relationship with Paddington and her love for that bear and how kind of much he feels like an extension of her family to her and another one of her children, really. And so in that respect, I was very inspired by Sally's performance, and I felt like if I can just keep hold of that she loves this bear just as much as anyone else she loves, then maybe I'll be on okay ground. Oh, what a handsome boat.
Although, unlike her, you get a little ting of Antonio Banderas in this. And I don't know, I don't want to say you love him, but there's a little reaction to him being a tour guide all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you react if you had Antonio Banderas as your tour guide?
I was sweating in the interview room with that guy.
But I have to say, part of my enjoyment of that was winding him up, winding up Mr. Brown. That was kind of the best part of that, was just enjoying getting the sort of steam coming out of Mr. Brown's ears and nose. So yeah, it was really such a great feeling just the minute I entered into this world. Just I felt like I'd been married to Hugh for 30 years, and with the bickering and the bantering sort of started from day one. So that was the fun of it.
Between your midlife crisis and Paddington 2, and the fact that you have to learn how to embrace risk in Paddington in Peru, what is the most adventurous thing that you've done lately?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to think. Probably getting up in the morning and manage to bend down and put on my shoes. I mean, everything's an effort these days. Oh God.
Are you an extreme sports guy? Have you jumped out of a plane before? Is there anything that you want to do?
No. I think a cryptic crossword is about as that's a heck of a risk for me.
Okay.
Or Sudoku. What?
I remember he flew off in a helicopter very dramatically in the middle of a
That
scene.
counts.
He had to give a talk to the RAF in, where was it, Cornwall?
Well, no, I was doing something it was a book thing down in Devon, and I had to be there, and yet they wanted me to film. And anyway, the only way that I could get there was by helicopters. That was very, very exciting. Actually, that was risky. Yeah,
that felt very sort of glamorous and risky, yeah.
How did you forget that and you went to a word crossword puzzle?
Exactly.
Actually, the helicopter was very, very safe, I have to say, and I wasn't piloting it. Had I been piloting it, that would have been risky.
It's called a hard stare, Mr. Hunter. And it's for when people have forgotten their manners.